What do you call a gay disabled comedian? A fruit roll-up. Pardon my attempt at humor. I guess that was sort of a corny dad joke, if you will, but it made me laugh. I hope it did you. But today, I open up the video that way because that's precisely the topic I want to talk about. Comedy, how political correctness, I believe, is not only an assault on comedy, but an assault on free speech and proof that the woke mob just wants us to live in a world that's void of the things that enhance life. Art, regardless of what form it takes, whether it's comedy, good quality movies, writing. But I want to talk about comedy and why I believe comedy is important to us as a people, not just the American people, but people world over. And I want to talk about Dave Chappelle's latest special for Netflix, The Dreamer. I loved it, and I want Dave to know, if he does by chance happen to see this video, I loved the special. I truly believe, sir, you are a master at your craft. You are in the same vein to me as greats like Red Fox, greats like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. That same vein, people that I love and I think are hilarious. You are, to me, this generation's Red Fox or Richard Pryor. I think that you have a way to command an audience, and you take difficult topics and you push the envelope. And I love that about you. I love that you talk about the things that the woke mob would have you not talk about. Because I believe that this woke mob wants us to live in a world that is void of the things that enhance our lives as human beings. Comedy being a very important one. Life is difficult. A lot of times there are things that happen to us that we can't control. Some things are very sad and very depressing. If you couldn't laugh at yourself and at each other, then it would be a lot more miserable. And a lot of you may know this if you followed my channel for any length of time, but I'm disabled. I was born with cerebral palsy. And in Dave Chappelle's latest special, he makes jokes about the handicap. And I love it. Let me tell you why I love it. I love it because I have fought my entire life to be viewed as an individual. Whether it be through my writing or my videos or anything else I've done it because I want to be respected for my craft. I want to be respected for my ideas as I try to communicate what's going on to you in the world, whether it's in popular culture or politics or the like. I believe in this country. But I want to be respected for what I've done and my accomplishments as a man, and not just looked at as a guy in a wheelchair. Way before I had any political inclination at all, I fought to be viewed as a human being in my personal life, and not just a guy sitting in a chair. And the reason that I love that Dave Chapelle in this latest special pokes fun at the disabled is because it shows that we're not off limits. We're just as human as the rest of everybody else. And I love that he includes us in on that. And I want to thank Dave for that. I will link the segment. He goes on a probably 10-minute altogether segment where he talks about making jokes about the disabled. Because he starts off with the trans stuff, and the trans community has really gave Dave hell. But I love it because he doesn't give a shit. He does what's funny. He says what he believes is true. But he does it in a way to where he just wants to make everybody laugh. Now, I don't think Dave has anything against trans or disabled people or any of that. Matter of fact, he makes a joke about former representative from my state of North Carolina, Madison Cawthorn. And he talks about where Madison was talking about during his re-election bid that Washington, D.C. is horrible. That they have all kinds of orgies and sex parties with drugs and alcohol. And they said, well, who would invite a disabled man to an orgy so they can roll around and snitch on everybody? And he said, there's only one good thing that a disabled man could do at an orgy. And then he bends over the stool, and he's like, all right, guys, here, have at it. I can't feel a thing. And I laughed my head off. But Dave, at the end, if you watch all the way to the end of the credits, you see that Dave is hugged up with Madison Cawthorn. So obviously they're friends, they have a good relationship somewhere, and I thought that was beautiful. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, then what fun is life? I'm sure Madison probably loved the skit as much as I did. And I want to thank Dave for that. But political correctness is the issue. Because Dave has made a lot of jokes recently over the past several years about the ridiculousness of the LGBT and how everybody has to fall in line, and in particular with the trans community. And he does go after them in this segment, if you want to use those words. He makes jokes about them. But I don't think that it's, trying to be harmful. He just wants to be genuinely funny. And these people have taken offense over it. But let me ask you, if you're trans, wouldn't you want someone to make jokes about you? Because it shows that you're human. That's how I view the disabled jokes. I'm human. I'm a man. I breathe air. I laugh. I cry. I feel joy. I feel sadness. The same as any other person. I'm not some untouchable who you can't be around. One thing that I pride myself on, being the way that I am, is I think that I have a great amount of empathy because of the unfortunate situation I was born into, having cerebral palsy. I feel that I have a great amount of empathy for people that really struggle. In particular, people that struggle because of circumstances that may be beyond their control, because I understand. But I think it's wonderful that we can joke about things that are hard. And political correctness that says, oh, no, this is off limits. Don't talk about the trans. Don't talk about the disabled. Don't talk about racial tensions. Things going on in our world today that really matter. If we say that those things are off limits, does that serve to make us any better as a society? I don't think so. I think that comedy is supposed to push boundaries. Comedy is supposed to make you laugh and then reflect. Comedy can be a good conversation opener about some of the issues that we're facing today. And that's why I am so vehemently opposed to political correctness. Because someone said that political correctness is nothing more than tyranny with manners. I believe it was Charlton Heston. But he's correct. Because not only is it restrictive, it is also a gross violation of the First Amendment. It's not just restrictive, it's abhorrent, rather. And I wonder, would we rather live in a society where we are free to say things that make us uncomfortable, or would we rather trample all over somebody's rights because somebody else was offended? We need to be tougher than that. If we can't handle a joke, how are we going to handle the hard things in life? Grow up. Thank God for Dave Chapelle. Thank God that he doesn't bow to the woke mob. I encourage you to watch his new special, The Dreamer. There are a lot of good things in it. He talks about, at the end, I thought it was beautiful, about how many times he failed and some of the struggle that he went through. But he talks about how, as a 14-year-old boy, he saw himself in the position that he was in. He saw himself in that theater in D.C. And now as a 50-year-old man, he's living it. Kudos to you, Mr. Chappelle. You inspire me, because even though it is not my desire to be a comedian, it is my desire to try to help the people of this country the best I can, to help them make sense of a lot of the bullshit that is going on. Maybe one day I will be fortunate enough to be able to sit down with you and we can have a discussion about some of this stuff. Whether it's on camera or off, I don't care. But I love you. I think that you're great. And I would love to have that conversation. I'd love to just give you a hug. And thank you for being you. You've added so much joy to my life since I discovered your comedy as a teenager. And I'm 31 now. Thank you. Because my life has not been an easy one. But you care, and I see that. You care about your craft. And you inspire me to be better at my craft. You inspire me to be a better communicator. And I'm grateful for that. Guys, at the end of this video, I was going to put clips to the special, but I think that I'll just link them, just because I don't want to be copyright infringed. But thank you. Hopefully this message will reach Dave Chapelle and he will see this, because I would love to have a conversation with him. I think we could have a wonderful conversation that would enlighten a lot of people. See you in the next video.